So we got this zero-turn Husqvarna riding lawnmower for the shop from a friend, and he just gave me the unit. It's a real nice unit. It's got a 24 horse Kohler motor on it, and it can get around and mow the shop's grass in about a half hour's time. Really didn't have a place to store it, so I was kind of reticent at the outset of even receiving it. But the more I thought about it, hey, we could fix that trailer up, and I showed you in that previous video how we took that telescoping pole and made that trailer essentially stationary with that pole we set up. So yeah, we went ahead and I'm glad we did, because this thing cuts the grass so much quicker, and it's really a pretty nice mower. But there's some things I want to do to it, so we'll try to cover those in this video here, to just get it into minor adjustments, essentially, for the most part, into shape for cutting the grass down at the shop and minimizing that time, so I can spend more time actually working on projects in the shop itself. But yeah, we just cut the grass to try it out, and it mowed real smooth and even, and did a great job altogether. Well, a little problematic getting it up on the trailer, but outside of that, it actually worked out pretty good. I'll get the blower out, and I'll just kind of get rid of some of this grass. Once I put a couple of pieces of wood down there for cribbing, that seemed to help get that thing on there. Now, as far as getting this thing up on here, and as hard as that slammed down, it ended up breaking the concrete. So I'm not sure how well this is going to end up working, but I think it's going to be all right. What's really cool is with that 54-inch deck, we got this thing in pretty short order. I think it took me about a half hour to do the lot. It was a little tricky on the hillsides. I'm still learning how to use a zero-turn mower like that, but that'll come together in time. And then the other thing too is it's kind of rainy out here, so I'm gonna get this camera, put it away, and blow this thing off and clean it up, and call it a day with the video. It's gotten kind of hot here in the loo. Luckily, it's kind of cool in the shop. We got the fan going over there, so if you hear that running, that's what it is. We're just trying to keep cool in here. Got a couple of projects going at the same time. Our plasma cutter came in today, so Dan is taking off that switch over there on that unit to remove the radial arm saw. I guess I'll put that up on Marketplace and try to get rid of that. And we're going to try to put some new casters on that table, and then get the plasma cutter, set it up on that. Now I think I have enough table surface up there that might give me enough room for TIG welder as well, so we'll get into that. Like I say, got this mower and figured out how to get the deck off the bottom, and we got it out. We're going to take a wire brush and clean that guy up maybe tomorrow, and got some spray paint to try to make it look a little nicer, and just kind of cleaning things up, servicing the unit so that it's good and ready to go the next time we need to mow. Just kind of cleaning some things up for the most part on it. So you'll probably see me working on that a little bit later in this episode. But for now, I think we're going to try to get this plasma cutter all set up, because we need to get this pick plate built for the 283 so we can put it into 57. We're going to go ahead and pull that 57 out and pull that old motor out of it, and put this motor in it and see if we can't get it fired up and everything else. But we got to cut 4 little slots on there with that plasma cutter, so I think we're going to focus on trying to get that thing going. We'll see you on the other side, folks. All right, so we got the old radial arm saw on there, and there's a whole bunch of blades and what have you that I fished out of the drawers down below in that table. And we wanted to put these casters. I've got some real nice casters under this versus the ones that were under were basically junk. And decided eventually, and you'll see Dan will get into some welding here to just weld those pieces on there. Taking a 2-wheel dolly to get rid of the old unit, and come back in and start working on putting the casters to it. So turned this thing up over on its edge and side, and started removing stuff after we cleaned the top off. And yeah, here's all the blades and stuff that you see that were inside in the drawers in there. And like to cut my hands several times, the fingertips. Play bass on Friday night? We'll see how that goes. But anyway, yeah, got the thing turned upside down and was kind of looking around, seeing what tools we needed to get rid of the old wheels that were on there. They pretty much all were bolted on and just needed to be taken off, and that's what you see us doing here. So eventually we decided that we would just plug weld through the holes on the plates of these casters onto here. And right now I'm taking a grinder and just kind of burying some of the paint off of the metal so that we get a decent surface to weld to. Placing the casters up there, and had Dan just go ahead and plug weld. We had him at a merit badge camp with the Boy Scouts, where he was actually pretty good at it. So thought we'd go ahead and let him try to do his turn at welding this, and it was a good call because he did a good job. I mean, I think he actually welds better than I do, so I should make use of him in this capacity as much as I possibly can. And the idea of plug welding seemed to work out pretty well. And got a little face shield there that I can just put in front of me whenever he starts to weld, so kind of keep an eye on what's going on, and did a great job. Like I say, I think better than I would have done. So it's really kind of good to see him getting in and getting after it like this. Alright, so we got these nice casters all welded in. It took the old wheels off that were really kind of junk on this, and it made it hard to move around. But these big casters should work out pretty nice. And we'll see how it works. Yeah, so we turned it over, and boy, it wheeled around so smooth. It was so nice. We decided to go ahead and get the plasma cutter, get it out, set it up, and see if we could make this thing work. And here we were just hooking everything up, firing it up with a air compressor next to it, and we'll actually start to cut in here in a little bit. So we wanted to cut the slots on that pick plate that we're fabbing for the 283 to be able to pick it from the carburetor mount on the top of the motor. And in order to start the cut of each of those slots, we decided to go ahead and drill a hole first, and went through various iterations of different drill bits because all my stuff is dull and needs sharpening, and we use a little cutting fluid as well to try to help, and eventually I think we got a combination that worked okay for Dan to get this in there. But none of this is his fault. It's all mine because I have old junk. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to get to work proper, but he did just fine. He got these all cut, and that allowed us to take this piece back over to the plasma cutter to cut the slots all out of that vertical piece for the pick plate. So here I'm still cutting the first slot out, and then wanted to give Dan a chance to see how he liked working with the plasma cutter. So switched over to him. He was trying to use the welding helmet, but he couldn't really see the project very well, and I eventually talked him into just using a pair of sunglasses here. And once he did, he could see what he was doing. And actually at this point, I was so impressed with what he did. I mean, he did a much better job. Again, like the welding, he did a better job than I did with this. He had steadier hands, I guess, and did a good job. So I was tickled to see that, and it worked out well. So I needed a couple of triangular pieces for that pick plate, and I got another piece of metal over here, and just cut that out, and this is where I'm just cutting out those triangular pieces to kind of give some vertical support to that pick plate. All right, we kind of finished what I was going to do for the lawnmower, and I'll just show you what it looks like. I cleaned the deck and scraped and repainted it, painted the bottom of it as well, underneath on the bottom that you can't see from this angle, obviously. Straightened this out, painted that, got the battery all properly secured. In here there was actually a bar that I found. I don't know if you can see it down there. Let me see if I can get that rascal in here a little closer. There's a bar that goes across the battery right there, and that ties it down and holds it down fast. We made adjustments in the way that these guys work. Just kind of cleaned everything up, got it working, and put it all back together and drove it back up on the rig up here. Using that overhead crane really helped out. We were able to pick the mower up and service it from that angle. And so now I'm moving on to working on the 57. So I'll put the 57 logo on the front of this video, even though we had some side work on that lawnmower. So anyway, I've got these pieces all cut out. I cut these out with the plasma cutter last night. It worked real well. I was happy with it, even though it's a little bitty tiny thing. It cut real clean, worked real well. Had to straighten everything up with a grinder, and got this piece over on the vise, and we're gonna take this slag and knock it off the bottom. And I may take a die grinder and kind of dress up the insides as well. So we'll put it in time lapse, and we'll see you on the other side. So we got these little magnet triangles from Hobo Freight, and they work really good in terms of trying to hold pieces and parts together. So I plan on using those when I get into the gauges on the 36 on the dashboard in there. Yeah, I got some pieces I'm going to weld into that face eventually, and then try to grind it flush and flat, and maybe use some Bondo to get it all straight and what have you. I figured I needed these for that, and then I saw use of those triangle pieces, the smaller ones at least, on this pick plate that we're making, just to kind of square everything up, get the middle plate nice and plumb. Here I'm just taking a little extra time making sure everything is square, laterally, longitudinally, that I'm center on the flat plate down below, and just trying to get everything to where it's all straight and looks halfway straight. Because my bird crap welding, well, you'll see, it's not that great. I still cannot weld for the life of me, but we do what we do, and we get her done anyway. So appreciate your patience with me along those lines. I'm not much of a craftsman, but I sure try anyway. All right, seems like we've got this all welded up. It's not perfect or pretty, but looks like it's gonna definitely be strong enough to pick a motor in or out of a car. And so we'll just try putting it on there, making sure nothing warped too badly. Yeah, okay. Bolt that down with those 4 bolts. Be able to pick on any one of these guys, depending on the centroid of everything. Should be able to pick motors in and out of cars. Woohoo! All right, thanks again, folks. Appreciate you watching. We'll catch up with you next time. Bye now.